This while addressing a special session of the UN Security Council at the sideline of the ongoing UN General Assembly in New York.
Must also commit to ensuring that countries which are in the front line of this challenge receive adequate support from the international community. The resolution that we have adopted here today is a critical first step in mobilizing international action. Only by united action and firm resolve can we check this raging threat to humanity and also build the enduring structures that will resist their emergence. I thank you.
Activities in New York. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has assured the international community that the 2015 general elections in Nigeria will be conducted in accordance with global best practices to further strengthen the country's democratic institutions. At separate meetings with the United Nations Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and the British Prime Minister, Mr. David Cameron, before leaving New York last Wednesday, President Jonathan reaffirmed his personal commitment to making elections in Nigeria progressively better, freer, and more credible. The president said that in keeping with his administration's dedication to openness and transparency in the conduct of public affairs, international observers will be allowed to freely monitor the 2015 elections and affirm that the elections are as free, fair, and credible as his administration has promised. President Goodluck Jonathan is back in Abuja after attending the 69th session of the United Nations General Assembly. The president, accompanied on the trip by Senator Philip Aduda and Senator Emmanuel Porker, was received on arrival at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport by top government officials. Shegun Lawole reports that the president has since returned to the presidential villa. Now back home, following the People's Democratic Party's adoption of President Goodluck Jonathan as his sole candidate for the 2015 presidential election, the Goodluck Initiative for Transformation, GIFT 2015, has called on other political parties to do same in sustaining good governance. Isaac Nkuma was at a press briefing by the group and now reports.
It is the first time in the nation's political history that a political party has unanimously adopted an incumbent to vie for the presidential seat in the next election. For the Goodluck Initiative for Transformation, it is a demonstration of a matured democracy. They are optimistic that if other political parties would endorse President Jonathan's candidature for 2015 presidential election, the war against sectionalism and religious difference will be won.
3 political parties already have reached out to us, and they are going to come out and openly declare for the candidacy of President Goodluck Jonathan. We believe that if the president is doing well, we must support the president. This call is to every political party in Nigeria.
They are of the opinion that a sole candidate would discourage the usual huge resources expended during party primaries and other selection processes, noting that such monies can be channeled to other developmental projects for Nigerians. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
Still on politics, the Jonathan Actualization Movement has taken its campaign for peace, religious and ethnic tolerance to the northwest zone of the country. At a rally held in Sokoto, capital of Sokoto State, the Deputy Governor, Mokhtar Shagari, emphasized the need for peaceful coexistence as a prerequisite for any meaningful development to take place. He commended the level of interest President Jonathan has exhibited in the affairs of the state, particularly with the construction of dams and provision of relief materials worth over 250 million naira to flood victims.
our children to dream and close their eyes.
The Jonathan Actualization Movement is on a nationwide tour with a message of ethnic and religious tolerance as its main thrust. Former Head of State General Muhammadu Buhari says the essence of leadership is service to the people and not to enrich oneself. He was speaking in Sokoto at the distribution of 230 ambulances purchased by the state government for primary health centers in the state. Jabi Dabore filed this report.
The 230 ambulances are procured for the 225 primary health centers built in all the wards across the state. The idea is to take healthcare services to the doorsteps of the common man. Commissioning the vehicles, former Head of State General Muhammadu Buhari described health sector as very crucial to the socio-economic well-being of any society. He gave Governor Wamoko a pass mark for the initiative, which he described as the right step in the right direction.
What we have seen yesterday in terms of infrastructure and then the organizational support to sustain that infrastructure really comes out from a very clear and sound mind.
Governor Aliu Magatka Dwamoko said a committee of retired civil servants has been set up by government to look after the primary health facilities to ensure that they are fully functional.
We are doing all this and much more because of our commitment to the health of our people.
Also commissioned by the former Head of State was the Ballet General Hospital in Gudu local government area. General Muhammadu Buhari also commissioned the Wamoko Orthopedic Hospital, Governor's Lodge in Gudu, as well as some township roads. He also paid a courtesy visit on the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III.
Still on poverty alleviation, a gender initiative targeted at providing income-generating activities for women in agriculture held by the federal government through the Ministry of Agriculture. Musa Babaliu reports that the empowerment program is ongoing throughout the federation.
The program, which is being carried out under the Agricultural Transformation Agenda, is aimed at tackling unemployment, create wealth and food security. The initiative is also expected to address challenges being faced by women in accessing inputs, land and financial support for their food production. The beneficiaries are being trained on beekeeping, snail farming and processing.
Women must take the initiative to arise and engage themselves in snail farming to alleviate their homes from poverty, help ensure food security and a healthy African continent, as well as create jobs and wealth.
Permanent Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mrs. Ibukun Odushete said the ministry is convinced that the country's potentials in agriculture are capable of addressing social insecurity among the populace.
The ultimate goal of this training is to equip the trainees with the necessary skills to enable them start an agribusiness in this snail farming enterprise in order to improve the welfare of the trainees.
At the end of the training, beneficiaries will be given starter packs to start up their own businesses. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
You're watching the news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Still to come. Building institutional capacities as pathways to good governance at the heart of the annual National Management Conference.
Shopee has ensured the reconstruction of the Abuja Lokoja Road and the East-West Road in Port Harcourt.
The standard gauge rail tracks from Abuja to Kaduna and Lagos to Kano indicate that our trains are coming back.
The second Niger Bridge in the southeast and the Loko Oweto Bridge in the north central are in progress, thanks to Shopee.
Shopee's mass transit program has made transportation easier for Nigerians.
Shopee has rehabilitated over 1,000 health centers across Nigeria.
Shopee has provided mama kits to pregnant women, and polio is on the verge of eradication.
Shopee has also ensured the provision of social amenities and through its various training programs for young people guarantees a better future.
Shopee, delivering service with integrity.
You are watching NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, Visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Watch our live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA, you can't beat the rich.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
You're welcome to this second segment of the news. Federal government has declared Wednesday, the 1st of October, as public holiday to celebrate the 54th independence anniversary of Nigeria. In a statement by the Minister of Interior, Comrade Abba Moro congratulated all Nigerians on the occasion and urged them to continue to build a more united nation. The minister enjoined Nigerians to use the period to reflect on the achievements of the nation, especially under the transformation leadership of President Goodluck Jonathan. Members of the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, who are also the owners of Nigeria's second national carrier, the Media Transmission Services, have been challenged to take their destiny into their hands with the migration from analog to digital next year. Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, gave the advice at the organization's Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Musa has the details.
The Special Assembly, which is being attended by executive officers of federal, state, and privately owned media organizations, is fine-tuning a way forward for better and efficient service delivery for the digitization era. Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, commends the broadcasters in their efforts and professionalism in the fight against Ebola virus in the country and advises them to carry on in that direction.
The only way digitization will work is if two things happen. If we bring broadcasters back into the driving seat or as co-drivers of this whole process. And the second thing is that we also address the issue of content.
He says his commission will provide all levels of engagement by promoting investment and innovation in the digital development.
And that we shall be collectively guided by wisdom, by experience.
I urge all of us to please be dogged. Let us do what is necessary.
We'll be able to say that this is the structure we are putting forward, this is how we want to fund our company, and this is how we want to meet the conditionalities of the National Broadcasting Commission.
Earlier, the chairman congratulated members as he explains the long, competitive and rigorous procedure the body went through to acquiring the license to become the country's second national carrier. Musa, NTA News.
Now on to academic matters. As schools resume for another academic year, government and owners of private schools have been advised to engage the services of professional guards to ensure the protection of pupils and students. Commandant General, Peace Corps of Nigeria, Mr. Dixon Ako, gave the advice on NTA International Current Affairs Program issues of the moment.
There must have to be the Ministry of Education and jointly with the security agencies are also supposed to organize a sort of program for heads of schools and colleges for them to know what the ingredient that needs to be put in place that we put in place that makes up security. Not to put not gate man, are you me, that is in just there to open gate and college, but doesn't have the necessary orientation and skills to monitor the students.
The program will be telecast at 7:30 p.m. local time. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Jude Imagwe, has appealed to the management of the National Youth Service Corps to review downwards the newly introduced fee for registration of prospective corps members. He made the appeal during a meeting with the management of the Senate in Abuja. Aliu Tukuro reports.
Comrade Jude Emagwe said while the introduction of such a fee is necessary, the amount should be reviewed downwards.
In as much as they are willing to serve their country, they should not be compelled to pay to serve their country. When they say compelling to pay to serve their country, is that why should they be paid to pay for call up later before they go and serve their country.
NYSC Director General Brigadier General Johnson Bamidele Olawumi explained that the policy will not only go a long way in assisting prospective corps members in information management and data assessment, but will also save them from traveling long distances to collect their call-up letters.
Contrary to what people have been putting in the media, nobody, the NYSC is not asking anybody to pay 4,000 naira to collect call-up letter. If at the end of the day, if 99% of the people said they are collecting their through the number, so be it.
In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Building institutional capacities as a pathway to good governance. The importance of legal and regulatory framework was one of the issues discussed at this year's annual National Management Conference of the Nigerian Institute of Management held in Warri, Delta State. Ngozi Obonna reports.
The conference also dwelt on other salient issues in governance and management to aid in making the nation one of the top 20 economies by the year 2020.
It's a multifaceted lecture on what role law can play in ensuring good governance.
President Goodluck Jonathan was represented by the head of civil service of the Federation, Dr. Danladi Kifasin.
By choosing this theme as the focus of this year's conference, the Institute has further demonstrated that it is always committed to supporting the federal government in achieving its drive to reposition and turn around the nation's economy.
For the Delta State Governor, successful nations strive when their institutions work efficiently and effectively.
To us as a state, we find it very appropriate and timely that this conference is holding today here in Delta State.
Dr. Nelson Wagu is the president and chairman of the Council, Nigerian Institute of Management.
We shall have a better result, irrespective of what political party or so. If our institutions of governance are working, then the country will be better for it.
The occasion featured the conferment of honor on some deserving members. The conference had the theme, Strengthening the Institutions of Nationhood, the Challenges of Management. In Warri, Ngozi Obonna, NTA News.
And from the National Assembly comes a report that the Joint Senate Committee on Trade and Establishment and Public Services has held a public hearing and initiated a move to amend the existing Oil and Gas Export Free Zone Authority Act. This is with a view to fostering economic sustainability and industrialization, as well as promoting foreign direct investment. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
The Senate President, Deputy Senate Leader Senator Abdul Ningi, noted the need for stakeholders to consider the proposed act seeking to amend the existing Oil and Gas Export Free Zone Authority Act, CAP 05, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2011 for the improvements of the country's economic prosperity.
Generation of foreign exchange, foreign capture, and attraction of foreign direct investment.
Chairman, Senate Committee on Trade, Senator Odion Ugbesia, outlined the benefits of amending the act.
Socio-economic development of the immediate community, where the oil and gas and special investment areas are located, contributing to the growth of the country's gross domestic product, employment generation.
Representatives of the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investments, as well as other agencies and regulatory bodies, also spoke on the apparent merits and demerits of amending the Act. With the conclusion of the public hearing, the Senate committees are expected to exhaustively study the inputs and report back to the Senate at plenary.
This consensus-building exercise between the Joint Senate Committees on Trade and Establishments and Public Services and relevant stakeholders, it is hoped and envisaged, will go some way to further boosting the free trade zone concept in Nigeria. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
Brent crude oil hits $96. Ghana, Ivory Coast in court over oil. Plus, Chinese manufacturers reject letters of credit from Nigerian importers. Details of these and more with Edeago.
crude oil futures plummeted to a two-year low on Wednesday at $96 a barrel as escalating supplies from Africa and Iraq, plus the tensions in the Middle East and growth expectations in China. Weak European fundamentals, along with a rise in oil exports from Iraq, Libya and Nigeria, have caused a big crash in oil prices. Prices have come down by 14% this quarter, the biggest quarterly drop since 2012. Nigerian oil exports are expected to hit a 14-month high in November, adding more light sweet crude oil to an already well-supplied market. Ghana has embraced the legal option to resolve a maritime border dispute with Ivory Coast over water close to oil fields licensed by a British firm. Ghana's Attorney General has, however, given assurance that during pendency of litigation, oil companies could continue to operate. A resolution is crucial for the oil industry and particularly for the firm which first discovered the cluster development in 2009 in Ghana's deepwater tenure license, close to the contested area. Oil exploration in Africa's Gulf of Guinea has accelerated since Ghana discovered the offshore oil and gas fields in 2007 and a British firm bought it online in 2010. Ivory Coast accused Ghana in April 2013 of encroaching on a part of its territory rich in hydrocarbons. Chinese manufacturers have started rejecting letters of credit from Nigerian importers. The Central Bank of Nigeria said Chinese manufacturers insist on cash payment. The Central Bank Director of Trade and Exchange, who revealed this at a forum, regrets that in spite of improved banking regulations and the Apex Bank's cashless policy, Chinese exporters still reject letters of credit from Nigeria. The director promised that the development, which is adversely affecting the volume of Chinese trade in Nigeria, will soon be redressed. Ede Ago, NTA News.
And in a sports package, National Stadium Abuja back in business as Minister okay's facilities. Plus, war of words before clash on the greens. US and Europe's golfers raise the stakes as Ryder Cup tees off on Friday. Let's join Fisayo Gunfuyi for these and more.
The Minister and Chairman National Sports Commission Tami Danagogo has inspected facilities at the National Stadium Abuja to evaluate its readiness to host international competitions. Danagogo was conducted around the sporting edifice by the Director of Stadium Facilities, Shehu Ibrahim, inspected the main pitch with its sprinklers fitted, the main bowl seats, the press gallery, VIP area, commentary positions, the changing rooms, as well as toilet facilities available. The minister, who also visited the practice pitches outside the main bowl, said his ministry intends to regrass 2 additional training pitches to bring the stadium to a standard where 1 pitch will be reserved for the national team, another for the visiting teams, and a 3rd for general use. The Nigerian Football Federation has expressed its happiness over modalities put in place for the successful organization of the 2nd edition of Nigeria's Football Awards, tagged the Pitch Awards. Matchmakers Consult, organizers of the event, say this year's edition, which is to be held in Lagos, will be an improvement on the maiden event held in Calabar, Cross River State. The event coordinators have reached partnership agreements with NTA Sports and an auditing firm, CIO, to make the nation's biggest football award ceremony a truly memorable occasion. Just hours to the much-anticipated 2014 Ryder Cup, the Gladiators are still engaging in verbal spats. Phil Mickelson of the US has hit back at the European team, making allusions to world number 1 Rory McIlroy's current court dispute with teammate Brian McDowell's management outfit.
Not only are we able to play together, we also don't litigate against each other. And that's a real plus, I feel, heading into this week.
Ryder Cup hostilities begin at Gleneagles Friday morning. With Sports News Update, Fisayo Gunfuyi, NTA News.
Now, just before we go, let's have a look at the weather across major cities in Nigeria and the globe. And that's it from here. Thanks for being there.